This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome to Emotionally Unavailable, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of emotional availability and intimacy. I'm your host, Melissa Hepner, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have you join me on this journey of self-discovery and connection. Whether you're navigating the complexities of relationships or exploring your own emotional landscape, this podcast is here to inspire, empower, and entertain. So get cozy and let's explore the depths of human emotions together. Hi guys, happy Monday. Hope it is marvelous and magical. Okay, today's guest is Bill, and I never asked how to pronounce his last name, I don't think. And if I did, I fucking forgot. So I think it's Heinrich, but I'm just going to read his little bio thing. Success isn't always what it seems from the outside. I speak from experience. I found success at a very young age. I was living in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and from the outside, everything looked perfect. But something was always missing. Surrounded by material success, with everything in place by normal standards, I found myself dissatisfied, and nothing seemed to fill the emptiness inside. No matter how much money I made or how successful I was, I never felt whole. Painfully aware that something was lacking, I continued to try to fill the empty space I felt inside. Over the course of time, this feeling got worse, never better, no matter what I did. I remember it was almost 30 years ago that I was so miserable I walked out the door to change my life, and I never looked back. Since that time, I've experienced many ups and downs along my path of personal growth. At each stage, I've gained new perspectives, and those new perspectives in turn created more opportunities for growth and more realizations, which has allowed me to see and understand the world with more insight and wisdom. For me, personal transformation is at the core of my essence. It is who I am. I have walked in your shoes. Our experience might not have been exactly the same. Perhaps I have not had the same authoritative people or groups or geographic influences in my life, but I assure you we are more alike than you can imagine. If you're reading this, then I know that you're seeking answers and a way to end your frustration, confusion, stress, and overwhelm. You're looking for a way to make lasting changes in your life, changes that are always going to be for the better. This is how we are one and the same. Prior to starting on my spiritual transformation path, my life was literally out of control. Dysfunction completely controlled my life, and I was making decisions based on who I wasn't. I was literally walking through life blindfolded. I'm not blindfolded any longer. I have cracked the code. With nearly 30 years of research, investigation, and experimentation, I found the answers that allow anyone to live with passion, purpose, and prosperity. For over 12 years, I've been working with high-level business executives, teaching them how to live life with passion, purpose, and prosperity. The results have been amazing. Everyone I've worked with has followed the blueprint and guideposts that I developed, and they start living the life of their dreams. The information that I've discovered is so powerful that it creates a foolproof blueprint to follow that guarantees success. This allows me the opportunity to provide 100% money-back success guarantee to all my clients. So, all right, that's Bill. We had a really good conversation, and, I'm doing this intro late Sunday night, so I'm kind of tired, if I'm being honest. So, I think Bill's introduction said a lot about him, and so I'm going to include links to his website and Instagram and YouTube. So if any of the things, and we've also got, I'm going to include the link where you can download a free copy of his book, Clarity Has No Story. Everyone has a tendency to get trapped in their stories. This is the reason we struggle. Protecting our stories and beliefs, it blocks our clarity and creates suffering, stress, and overwhelm in our life. This book explains how to use your language to create more power, potential, and abundance in your life. Right on, man. I'm going to get that. So, okay. Well, I think that's it. Make sure you check the show notes for his links. And yeah, so here's me and Bill.
Emotionally unavailable.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
There we go. We made it work.
It worked. Hey, we're quite a team.
We're so smart. Hold on, I gotta make sure these work. I'm having a rough morning. I'm so sorry. All right, I think we're good. All right, so just a couple of things. Can you hear me? Okay. So what I usually do is I will record a separate intro whenever it's time to post this. So we just get right into the conversation. So I just want you to be aware of that. Okay. So I was reading your Podmatch profile again, and I mean, I'm not surprised by this because most of the people that I meet are kind of just so much like me. And I think that's probably because a while ago I asked the universe to just send me the people meant for me, you know? But it basically, if I were to summarize kind of what you're doing, you realized how you weren't living a life that you were in love with. And so you are doing that now and showing other people how to do that too. Is that a good way to summarize that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would just really like to know what your life was before. I like the way you put it. You say you walked out the door to that life after 30 years or something. And so what does that mean? What was
I was miserable.
Why were you miserable?
Life was chaotic. I was not available emotionally. I was it was into stark survival, and it was just fucking crazy.
Yeah. So what were you in a job you hated as well?
No, I've always worked for myself. No, I was successful.
I've always So financially you were like, do you think that helped you to like think that you were on the right track until you just kind of ran into a brick wall?
Well, it was I bought my first business at the age of 25 and grew that significantly. You know, when I was 27, I mean, I had all the trappings of success. At the age of 27, you know, I had $100,000 credit line at the bank, and I just call them and tell them to put money in my account. That's the way banking was done back. You know, like if I saw a new car I liked, I bought it. You know, I mean, it was, you know, I had everything. So it was just miserable. No fulfillment whatsoever.
Did you think it was fulfilling though? At a certain, like when you first started like, having that money, were you like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Oh, sure. I had the world by the ass, right?
Yeah.
But
so was there a specific time that you like just woke up and realized, oh, I'm really fucking miserable?
It just got worse and worse. And finally, I was in a relationship, and she had a 12-year-old son who was a bit of a smart ass, and it was 2 days after Christmas, and he said something, and I grabbed his shirt. I had him up against the wall, and this voice came in my head. It's like, hey, Bill, this is not you. And I let him go and went upstairs and sat down, and this voice said, you have to go find out why you're so miserable. So I walked out the door, and I never came back.
Wow. So you kind of realized you're the center of all the dissatisfaction in your life.
Well, I didn't know at that time, but I just knew I just distinctly remember it's like, God, I stepped out, honestly. I said, God, I don't care if I go live in the gutter. I know that wherever you take me will be better what I've created on my own. So
wow. So what did that look like? What was the journey to now?
I took 2 years and completely dissected, but I mean, I've been on the search ever since. I'm
Yeah.
still on it today. I
Yeah.
found all the answers, but I'm just right now, I've just put together finally, it's kind of like my crowning achievement, put everything together that I've learned, and I'm in the process of writing a 9-book series called The Aligned Life. And
Oh, I love that.
I'm on book 3 right now. So it's a whole uh it's about how to live, and the only way that you can live properly is with energy. See, this is
Mhm.
where emotions come in. And so the first 3 books are on introduction to energy. The next 3 are on the expansion of energy, and the last 3 are going to be on the transcension of energy.
Oh
It,
man, that sounds
yeah,
really good.
it's better than good. It's like
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Are you excited about it?
Um, I don't know. I can't say I'm excited. I'm finally, I do coaching. I have the best coaching program in the world, period. End of conversation. I can change a person's life so fast, show them how to live in happiness. It's crazy how fast I do it.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to memorialize it because nobody's doing what I'm doing.
Like capture your program.
Capture ultimately what the whole thing is, what it means, and then have it available, for anybody. And that's what the 9-book series, The Aligned Life, is going to be about.
So at what point, because for me, I'll just tell you about me and then you tell me if it's similar. For me, I started from the understanding all of a sudden that I was emotionally unavailable, and then hit burnout. Like I was trying to work on this piece and then just hit burnout in every area of my life. At the time that I was in the deepest darkness, as it happens for most people, that's when I really had a spiritual awakening too, as I was starting to like heal so much. And then the more I heal, the more I awaken, and the deeper my understanding becomes, like of things I thought I already learned. You know how that goes. But you get the opportunity to get deeper in the knowledge and understanding of those things. But like I said, it started one place and now it's just this, it took over. It's a life of its own because it was so much bigger than whatever I thought. Was it similar for you, or did you kind of have the spiritual awakening first and then the emotional stuff second?
Uh, Spiritual awakenings are somewhat subjective.
Sure.
So I've had many of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some massive ones. I've had some massive ones.
Yeah.
So it was more sorting it out. I didn't get into the emotional part for about 5 or 6, it's probably 6 years after I walked away from my life. It's been a very long process. I'm extremely metaphysical.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I spent more time in metaphysics. And then I realized the importance of being back on Earth and combining it and being able to bring that energy to Earth.
Yeah. Is this a constant source of struggle for you to like balance the
No,
anchor?
not anymore.
Really? It
No.
kind of for me to
Well, it takes
be my highest.
it takes what I've put together for people to be able to do it. And, at least if you've got metaphysical connection, you're learning where truth lies. Because it isn't in the physical, it's in the non-physical, it's in the metaphysics completely. And without that, the only thing you get in physical life is hard work, lack of clarity, and suffering. That's all you can get.
So true.
Without metaphysics or non-physical energy. Yeah.
Well,
So,
and I think
I can
that's how
work the energy. No, I'm good when I go into coaching sessions and I just leave and it's just easy for me now.
right. Yeah, to kind of hit that plane. But in your personal life, if maybe you just don't have the struggles I have, but like if you're going through something, I find myself
I
kind
have
of
no
white
struggle.
knuckling stuff.
I have no struggles. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I understand them. So the only reason you struggle is because you're still attached to the physical.
Probably, yeah.
Not probably. I don't let people use that word around me.
Well,
it's
what I'm saying is I
fear
got
of
real life
loss.
shit going on. Oh, absolutely. But it's also just this uncovering of things, I think. And for me,
You're too attached to the stories inside you.
oh, for sure.
And you got to let them go. That none of them are real.
Yeah. That's easier said than done, though.
It's actually very easy to let them go. It's absence of trust.
Yeah, trust in which part do you think? In self or universe or what?
My God. You tell me. It sure as hell isn't self. Look at what you've created. No.
What do you think the lack of trust is in then?
Oh, it's lack of trust in spirit.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still kind of unpacking so much religious shit, like those I think are the stories that are just, it's that good, bad punishment versus reward thing that like I really find myself in.
So, and religion is bullshit. Real simple. I mean, it's just.
Oh, for sure. I agree. 100%.
There is a heaven and hell though. That I know. Well, it's on earth.
It's so true. That's so
on
true.
Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel that way too.
Well, let's do the recording. We'll just get into it.
We are recording, brother. We've been recording this whole time.
Oh, I didn't know we were recording.
Yep.
Oh, cool. That's funny.
Yeah, we're recording. But actually, this isn't a thing that I've just started kind of playing with, the idea of heaven and hell being on earth. And I just heard someone else, not to me, they didn't say it to me. I was listening to something and I was like, I don't know. That feels true. That feels true. Because if we're all just energy,
that's all we are.
Yeah. And the religion stuff is what created this idea of, and some religions call it, well, I know they call hell outer darkness. Oh, the heaven is their celestial kingdom. But I'm like, well, I can see how whatever you frame this as, that it is here, however your perception of the situation. But like I said, I really think it was the religious programming and the trauma of that. Like, I keep saying this over and over because I don't know how to fucking rid myself of it. But that punishment versus reward. If I'm doing the right things, I get this. If I'm doing the wrong things, I get this. And are you living a pure, enough life?
But here's a new concept to that. Let it go. Let it go. When you look at energy, the beauty of energy is there's no story with it. It's only a vibration.
Yeah.
There's no story.
That's so true.
It's just a vibration. So when you look at these things that they call heavenly and hell and sinning and all that other stuff, and you look at your own life, the only thing you really need to look at is this a vibration that feels true to my heart? Does this feel, and like, it's real simple. There's no good or bad. There's that doesn't exist. This is stuff's all made up on earth. It's all for manipulation and control. So the one thing, when I walked away from my life, the only thing I was after, speaking of religion, was to live doctrine free. No doctrine in my life, period. So
and was that because you made a commitment to just figure it out as you go, or because you already understood energy?
I didn't understand energy at that point.
Okay.
But I was brought up Catholic, and so it was like no doctrine. Like, I knew, I could just feel that wasn't right, that wasn't true. So and about 6 months or so after I walked away from my life, somebody gave me Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And when I read it, I went, wow, there's no doctrine here. That's all choice. It starts with pure potentiality. What it goes through are the 7 universal laws in a very cute way that he wrote it. It's an excellent book, but there's no doctrine in it.
Right.
And the very first section of it, the very first one, is pure potentiality. And he just says, we're just pure potential. And that's our energetic selves, which is true. We are pure potential. If we raise it, we can, as long as our vibration meets whatever other level, we can create anything we desire. It just eradicates this whole physical life, which is a joke. It eradicates it. It's like, so you did this, you did, and you go to survive, thriving rather than surviving. So that's what led me towards energy. And then the more I read that book for years, and it's 7 laws. I started on Sunday, read 1 law every day, same one. And then I'd go through my day and watch and just see what I noticed regarding the law as it was spoken about in that book. And it was like, wow, this is crazy. That's so powerful. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But all judgment, blame, shame, and guilt don't play into it. Fear of loss doesn't play into it. So, I mean, my teachings now have gotten much, much higher because I just have such a deep, more expanded awareness, much more expanded awareness. But we live in 2 dimensions. There's a physical and a non-physical dimension. And, this emotionally unavailable, which was my description, even after I walked away for a number of years, until I got it, and I really started to understand feelings and energy. But you can't have an emotion unless you have a story. It's not possible.
So what is your recommendation for people to kind of unravel what the story is?
Go see what the story is not even true. Not at this point.
Right. But how do you reconcile this against spiritual bypassing?
What's spiritual bypassing?
Well, I don't.
That sounds the best pretty way highfalutin to me.
Well, it's like bypassing the human experience.
You can't. You're here.
Right. But if you're not dealing with emotions and you're just saying,
well, you're still going to deal with emotions.
Right. Okay.
How
do you deal with it?
Well, you just have to recognize it for what it is. Like, I have extremely low self-esteem. You'd never know it speaking to me today. It still comes up.
Yeah.
And I just say, go sit in the corner. You're not allowed in the room anymore.
Yeah.
The thing about emotions are in stories, the biggest mistake that people make is they call them issues painful. They aren't painful. They're painful when they're not dealt with, because you'll get disease. You'll
Yeah.
end up ill because of it. So, but they aren't painful. What
Well,
they
it's
are,
certainly whatever narrative you're attaching to it that would create the discomfort for sure.
there's discomfort, but everybody, the reason they see it as issues and problems is they have no path forward.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid to step over to the, I don't know what spiritual even is, to tell you the truth. People talk about it. I don't even know what it is. I know what non-physical is.
Mm-hmm.
Non-physical is an energy that exists, that runs the entire universe. And we're part of that non-physical energy. And if you look, that non-physical energy is always in a state of organic expansion. So if you want to be in organic expansion, you need to raise your vibration so it matches that energy.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And if you look at all expansion, everything in the physical world is based on limitation.
So true. Yeah.
Everything in the non-physical world is based on expansion.
Mm.
So when we look, the greatest example of the difference between the two, physical and non-physical, are telephones. We had a phone. We only dialed 4 numbers. There were operators. The phone was attached to the wall.
Sure was too.
Then life got great. They came out with the Princess phone with a 15-foot cord on it. You could walk around the room while you were holding the smaller object. It was like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it was still attached to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's progressed and progressed. Now the phones are in our back pocket, and everything with the phone is handled in the non-physical.
Mm.
There's a vibration that goes out, and in 2 seconds you're talking to Australia.
Yeah.
Just look at that example. So put yourself in the same position. You want to connect in the same way. You want to focus on the non-physical, only on your vibration. So these stories and things that people have that are issues, you've got to look at the story. When you have that feeling, you get like, somebody gets upset. It's like, well, what's upsetting you? Because the world's a mirror. The only thing you ever see in the world is you. That's it. You only see you.
It's true.
So you've got to go look at the story that's feeding that and choose differently to change your vibration. It's about changing your vibration more than it is about healing the story. The story, you change your vibration and the story is going to get healed.
That's true.
Because the more you change your vibration, the less you're going to be afraid of the story.
Yeah. So are you teaching practices for changing your vibrations then?
Oh, that's what I do for a living.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. So that's
my coaching
kind of
program.
Very cool.
And when people, the other thing is everyone has a very unique energetic DNA.
Mm.
You have a very unique vibration that's your own. That's your life purpose. Your life purpose isn't what you do. It's the energy you do it with.
Mm.
That's your life purpose. And when you're not living your life purpose, that all comes out in the form of penalties because you're not using the energy appropriately. So it makes it worse.
Yeah, so that's when you run into the restrictions and stuff.
You just keep having, you're living with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who you aren't.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to fit into a society where nobody's the same. It's crazy. We aren't the same.
Yeah. That's so true. And why are we trying to be so uniform about everything, I wonder?
Because everybody's on the top is trying to control everybody.
Yeah. I guess it does start from there, huh? Because I don't have much exposure to people anymore, except for like on here, just because I don't know, for the last year I've been a little bit in isolation, but I don't understand some stuff that's happening outside of like my world just because I'm not in it anymore. But like, I do feel like people are so lost in feeling like there's only one direction for anything. And
well, that's because they're in survival. Yeah. Well,
yes, that's
deal
true.
I deal with it all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
All
What
the
does your
time.
typical client look like? What are the typical things you see?
Well, it's all the same. They're not fulfilled. Things aren't going well. Maybe their marriage is falling apart. Maybe they're having trouble with business. But it could be one of so many different things. The biggest thing is everybody's lost. I've been coaching doing this 15 years. I've never met anybody that has a remotely close clue of what their purpose is, although they all walk around and say they do. I mean, everybody goes around and talks about, well, mindset, that's the big term. It's like, no, mindset will bury you because your mind can only operate from the past, and it's set, it's fixed, and the universe isn't fixed. So it puts you in a state of resistance. You go into energetic resistance with mindset.
If you had a word to replace mindset with what would it be? Just energy?
Yeah. Choice.
Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. Just allowing yourself to get into the energy you're supposed to or need to
everybody that there's two things that everybody has the same problem where they're totally lost. And the first one is when they come and see me, they don't know why they're seeing me. They think they do. My wife and I are arguing and this is happening, that's happening, whatever, or business or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not why you're here. Oh, yeah, it is. No, it isn't. No, you're here because of how you feel about that.
Yeah.
You're not here because of that. It's how you feel about it. You're not talking to me about the stuff you feel good about. You're telling me the stuff you don't feel good about. And you got to change your vibration. And the other thing is that no one is utilizing their greatest asset, their greatest resource in life. They don't even know what it is. And I'm sure you don't either. I won't even make you guess, That's free will and choice. You've given up your right to it. You've got yourself trapped down. I do what I want, where I want, when I want, with who I want, anytime I want. I have free will and choice. That's how I run my life.
So how do you tell people to exercise that more?
Well, they have to I take them through a process. They've got to learn. Most people don't, they don't have the capacity. Their capacity for change is small. But when you know who you are, I take them through discipline-free transformation. There's no discipline required when you work with me. None.
Yeah.
Because when you know who you are, you make a choice. You're like, oh, that's not me. I'm going to choose differently.
Yeah.
It doesn't take discipline. It's like, I want to feel good. Hello. And when you feel good and you really learn what feeling good is like, then you're living at a level that's above and beyond where any Christians or any other religious groups are living. Because when you look at what creates good energy, it's a lifestyle that's that's way above judgment, blame, shame, and guilt.
Yeah.
The sinner and you're no good and please.
Yeah. So then are you kind of referencing the idea of like reverse engineering, like just living within
No,
that identity?
no, it's just knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you see that you're an energetic being. And then you start taking care of that energy.
Yeah. Did you kind of see what, I'm going to use this word for lack of a better term, but kind of like what fed your energy and what depleted it and just went towards the things that fed it correctly, the
You
proper
see
care
it on a
and feed?
moment by moment basis. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how
And
you
you're the only one
decide?
that knows. Huh?
Right. Yeah. So are you kind of just leaning in each step like, yep, that feels like the same, like this is,
Hello. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Without external um um influences, you
Uh-huh.
know, without doing anything, without doing things to make nice. Like I haven't drank for 36 years, so I mean, there's no alcohol, there's no drugs. It's all about inner choice.
Mm-hmm. Have your choices become much simpler then in
Very
since
simple.
all this? Yeah.
The universe is very simple. Life is complicated. The universe is simple.
Yeah.
It's literally, it speaks like a 2-year-old or a second grader.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
so
could see
simple.
that. Yeah. Yeah, we really do complicate things.
Well, it's the stories.
Yeah.
See, that's why the vibration is so important, because there's no story in a vibration.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah. So once you figured that out, you didn't like need to unpack anything else. You just were like, oh, this is the crux of the problem, that I wasn't in the right energy. And you just worked really hard to be in that energy.
You you don't work hard, you just recognize. It's just awareness. I mean, you still got stories to unwind, but you can feel them from the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay. What's creating that story? Wow, okay. So I'm going to divorce myself from that old belief.
Yeah. How did you?
I went to one time, this is a funny story. I lived in Hawaii for a number of years, and I was over there. This is before I moved there. I was over there just doing a photo shoot, and there's this phenomenal psychic on the Pali Highway in Oahu. Vaughn Lowe is her name, and I'd heard about her, and it was like, I want to go see if I can get in to see her. So I go in to see if I can see her, and the woman's like, "Well, no, she's booked out." I was there. This was April, and she's like, "No, she's booked until October. You know, no openings." I said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "But give me your. Are you going to be around today?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Give me your number. If we have a cancellation, I'll call you." Right. Anyways, they had a cancel it. She had a cancellation. That's the way my life works. There was a cancellation. I went in. I was the last one to see her that day. Anyway, I went in her office and sat down. She wasn't in there. And then she comes in the office. She walks through the door and she looks at me and says, "Whoa, you're two people. Like you used to hurt people and make people cry, and now you're Buddha." Like she was just stunned at what she saw. And that described me. That's very true.
Yeah.
It was that big a change.
But it wasn't like there wasn't a period of struggle where this new version of you is trapped in the old parts of you, to where something happens and you struggle to
Sure.
get in the
You go
vibration?
through you've got to go through the process of learning,
Okay.
and it's eliminating the things that don't support you.
Mm, that's a great point.
and then coming to grips with the fact that, you know, it's like the guy hitting himself in the head with a hammer. What do you do that for? He says, because it feels so good when I stop, you know? I mean, you've got to.
I've never heard of that. That's great.
And that's what we do to ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true.
And it's about, you know, then you get into spiritual responsibility. You know, you've got to be responsible for everything in your life. There's nothing outside of you. You're either responsible or you're a victim. And if you're a victim, you're really in trouble.
That's so true. Victim consciousness was tough for me because I did not identify the victimhood in myself for a great many years. I would have said very much the opposite, actually. Like, oh, no, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. And then whenever I started to address the fact that I was the center of all of the dissatisfaction in my life, I was like, oh, I definitely have been victimizing the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
Like, I was a victim to everything and everyone. It was so annoying to figure that out. I was like, oh, gross.
Yeah. One time I was seeing a psychologist, and I went in and saw her, and I said, I don't know what to do. And she said, well, what's going on? You know, well, it's this and this. And I talked for like 10 minutes. I got done, and she looked at me and she said, well, you're not confused at all. You just explained everything to me. And I said, oh, no, I'm confused. She says, no, you're not committed.
Oh. You were like,
I was pissed.
Yeah, attacked.
I was like, oh my God.
Shots fired. Damn, she really laid it out.
She was right.
Yeah.
I changed in that instant forever.
You're not confused at all. And you're like, well, I am. Oh, it's true, though. It's true. And what do you think you have to be committed to?
Whatever you choose.
Free
will and choice.
Yeah. So are you in a relationship now?
No.
Have you been in some time?
Not for a while.
Yeah. I just wondered how, because this is how it would be a potentially negative in relationships for me if I was at your level of expansion, is that I can sometimes see myself maybe not empathizing or having compassion somewhere for the fact that this person just doesn't understand at the level that I understand. And I could see myself triggering the shit out of somebody if I was trying to get them to understand what I understand.
Water seeks its own level.
Good point. Good point.
There's no
you
way.
Can't even magnetize people who aren't on your level now because it doesn't reflect you. Yeah, right. That makes sense. No wonder then. I bet it's hard to find people then.
Well, that's interesting. The need isn't there.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Oh yeah. I could see that.
I don't need to be fixed.
Yeah.
I have plenty of love for myself in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's going to come in, especially right now with the work I'm doing, it would be a disturbance.
Yeah. Just more of a distraction than a benefit. Yeah.
I mean, it would be fantastic, but then it'd be like, oh damn, now I've got to go. They've got to go have dinner, got to go do this with them, I got to do that. Where now I'm just working on the things I need to work on.
Yeah, and you have a really fulfilled life. So your time outside of work is still so fulfilling that you don't need a relationship. I can see that. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but do you hang out like with friends and family and stuff like that, or do you? Okay. I wasn't sure if you were living more of a monk lifestyle, where you're just alone.
A little bit, but I spend my summers in Vermont, my winters in California, and I've got 5 grandkids, spend time with them. And
You have 5 grandkids? Oh my gosh. What? That's cool. Do they think you're cool?
I don't know. We get along well, but
You do. Do they live anywhere near the 2 states that you spend a lot of time
yeah,
in?
they're out in they're in California and Hawaii.
Oh, cool. Do you go to Hawaii a lot?
Mhm.
I have a friend that's there right now. That's really cool. What do you think if you were to just like summarize what people need, would you say getting to their own unique vibration and understanding their free will and choice? Or is that like a really good summary for what you're teaching?
Yeah.
And has that been the 2 things that led you to such a fulfilled life?
No, misery did.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
People don't change. There's only one reason they change. They're unwilling to live a certain way any longer.
Yeah. I sure wish that's not how it had to happen, though. Sorry, I'm having way bad allergies. My eyes are just watering.
But that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, someone said not too long ago, we can't change when we're happy. Like happiness just doesn't. You get too just settled, But whenever struggle or whatever word you want to use for that misery comes in.
Yeah, they're in survival. That what people are really focused on is getting to death safely.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really good point.
That's it.
That's so true.
Yeah, watching stupid TV shows and doing all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
So
Excellent point.
I have another commitment here in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to jump.
Well, feel free to. Is there anything just specific that you'd love to leave the audience with?
Just watch where you're defensive, because whatever you're defending is causing suffering.
Oh, I like that. Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and thank you for the work you're doing. And I will try to keep the little Podmatch thing up to date so you'll see when it's releasing and all of the things. And I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Create a special day for yourself. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelissahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops. Emotionally unavailable. All right, that's it from me. So make sure that you check out the show notes for links. And until next time, let's all just keep swimming. Emotionally unavailable.
INDEPE and cut.